Hello everyone, you're welcome to Science Podcast. This is your biology video lectures. I remain your host, Akerele Oladimeji Philip. Probably you're watching or seeing this video for the first time. Just look at those tips. Those are the things you will be needing in enjoying the video. Alright, today we'll be talking about respiratory system and gaseous exchange. These two terms work hand in hand because this very system is needed for this to happen. Respiratory system is needed for gaseous exchange to occur. Alright, now all living things are required to respire. Yes, so because we have 10 characteristics of living things, and one of those is respiration, which is ability of an organism to break down glucose in order to generate energy. All right, so if that will take place, a system must be provided or must be made such that will be a system, be a structure that will bring about the things needed. What are the things needed? Oxygen majorly, that's needed for animals to be able to break down their food. So the structures or the organs are the respiratory organs or system, and once they bring in the oxygen, gaseous exchange will take place. Once gaseous exchange takes place, that means the oxygen is going to the cells, carbon dioxide is going out of it, then the respiration can take place. So that is very important. But one thing I want to say is that most times when people talk about respiratory system, people often mistake respiratory system or respiration, I beg your pardon, respiration for breathing. They are not the same thing. As it is written here, it is essential to know that respiration and breathing are not the same. Breathing is essential for respiration, yes, because when you breathe in, that's where respiration can take place. And however, they should not be used interchangeably. So respiratory system is a combination of organs or structures that brings about breathing. Once you breathe, the gaseous exchange takes place, and once gaseous exchange takes place, respiration can take place. All right, so bear in mind that this system, respiratory system, brings about the breathing in or breathing on out and out. Then during that process, this is essential for gaseous exchange to take place, and while the gaseous exchange is essential for respiration to take place. Now I took the liberty of getting material for you on what's it called, the differences between respiratory system and respiration and breathing is. So you can pause the video here and read through. These are the things respiration is known for. These are the things breathing is known for. So just pause the video, write it out. I think the only thing that you might not understand here, that's not self-explanatory, is the fact that is it voluntary involvement of enzymes? Yes, in breathing you don't need any enzyme to do that. You just inhale and exhale. All right, while respiration demands that because of the processes involved, which is glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation, which is called electron transport chain. All right, so pause the video here and write those things down. Now, what are the respiratory structures? Now, the environment in which animal lives greatly determines how an animal respires, because or how it breathes. All right, always remember that once I say respire, remember that some things must happen before respiration will take place. So I'm referring to how they take in their oxygen, how they carry out gaseous exchange. So now, as an animal size increases, the diffusion distance increases and ratio of surface area to volume drops. Now, what that means is that gaseous exchange takes place across a cell. If the cell is too thick, the volume, or let me say the surface area of that organism is too large for gases to pass through it. So hence something has to happen. Now say in unicellular organisms, the diffusion across cell membrane is sufficient for supplying oxygen to the cell. Yes, because they are so tiny. So you can imagine a cell like red blood cell, and compared to the palm of the hand, the palm of the hand is too thick for oxygen to be taken into it directly, but the red blood cell is thin, very small. The membrane is so thin that oxygen will just diffuse across its membrane. All right, so what are the now for one thing you need to know is that what are the characteristics of a surface that will carry out gaseous exchange? Because I just said now that the palm of the hand is very thick. Yes, it's a membrane, it's a skin, it's a surface. So what should a respiratory surface or gaseous exchange surface have, or has? I beg your pardon. So number one is meant to have a very large surface area to volume ratio. It means that it's going to be very thin and very wide. All right. Now you can see the second one talks about they must be thin. Actually, it's not meant to be more than 1 millimeter thick. 1 millimeter thick. They are permeable to gases. Yes, gases, say carbon dioxide, must be able to pass through. Oxygen must be able to pass through. They are moist. Yes, that means it's wet. It must be wet because the gas, in this case, say carbon dioxide or say oxygen, must be able to dissolve on the membrane, so that you can see here because the diffusion across membrane is enhanced when gases are in solution. So the gas must have diffused with the moist surface. They are highly vascularized for carriage of gases. Yes, so every respiratory surface must have blood vessel very close to it, so that once the oxygen diffuses across the membrane, it just enters into the blood stream they're taken across the body. All right. Now, what are the different respiratory structures in different organisms? It's a summary. Just pause the video here and just write that down. Let me point attention to the fact that coleenterates, or we say phylum Colenterata, are now called Cnidaria. If you have seen my video on taxonomy, you'll have probably picked that. So this still means Cnidaria, in case you're probably looking for what it is that. So this is also Cnidaria. So I believe you've written that down. There's another one I've put here for you. This is another one that you can use. Now see here, though, you soon just take note of this point, that when frogs are out of the water, you can see that frogs, they use they use gills, but that's not here anyway, that's for the tadpole, but they use lungs. Yes, frog uses lungs, but there's a difference. Let me go back a bit. I think the other example shows that. Okay, I'm going to see. Okay, skin, they use skin. Okay, I think let me go back to the other one. That one makes it easier. Now, what I'm saying is, look at this. It says moist skin. That is frog. So frog uses two things. So I will tell you. Frog uses their lungs as well as their skin. So you can see that when frog is out of water, mucous glands in the skin keeps the frog moist, which helps absorb dissolved oxygen from the air. So a frog may also breathe much like a human by taking air into their nostrils down to their lungs. So that's what I'm saying. So they have two. An adult frog has two respiratory structure. It can breathe through the skin, which is called cutaneous respiration, and it can also breathe by the lungs, like they breathe in like human does. However, their tadpole, which is the larval form, uses gills. All right, you can see they also use gills. If you go back to these, you can see. I'm trying to see. Yes, you can see. Okay, I just said that already. I said cutaneous respiration. That is for the skin in amphibians. All right. So these gills you can also say for fishes. Then you can also say tadpole. All right. Moving on. So amongst these ones here, we just pick the few ones. We talk about body surface, gills, tracheal system, then lungs. All right. Then also skin. So let's get started with each of them. Now, this occurs by diffusion because it takes place in unicellular organisms that are not so thick. They are so thin. Now, they are small. The example of unicellular organisms are Paramecium, Euglena, amoeba, and the likes. Also, it happens in what? Multicellular organism. But what kind of multicellular organism? Not like us humans, but simple ones such as Cnidaria, which is otherwise called colenterate, and flatworms. So you can see here that this body surface of this planaria, it takes place through the surface, body surface. These ones you are seeing around here is actually skin. Please don't mistake it for that. I'm saying that emphatically. We are going to talk about this later. This is for skin. Doesn't mean body surface means that the entire surface. This one is just the back, just their back, the more skin. And I said that not quite long. Right, moving on. So let's see more examples of body surface. See your unicellular organism. So all through the whole body, you can see oxygen and nutrients will diffuse in, carbon dioxide will diffuse out. All right. So this is for a small, simple multicellular organism, such as you can see that here, such as planaria. This is a diagram. This is the picture. This is a live planaria in the aquatic habitat. And this is not. I didn't put that here. Earthworm also use their body surface. Also, if you check the table I show you not quite long, it is also there. All right. Okay, looking at this, okay, you can see, okay, earthworm. Now let me say this: some books put earthworm under skin, some put it under body surface. Either way, earthworm uses the entire body surface for just exchange. You can say it is. I can also say it's skin, because its skin is not as developed as amphibians. Amphibians only use their back surface and some part, doesn't use their limb, but earthworm uses everything. That's why I mentioned earthworm for skin, and I also mentioned it for what body surface. So now for gills, I beg your pardon, for skin, it happens in earthworm and amphibians such as your frogs and toads. Now for gills, fishes and many other aquatic organisms have evolved what? Gills through which they used to breathe for gaseous exchange. Now, so gills are found in mollusk. Now, not all mollusk, anyways. There's a mollusk called mantle snail. Mantle snail uses gills. All right, annelids. Sorry, this annelids in this case, not all annelids. This annelids is that is for earthworm. That's the skin. Sorry, this example is maybe a little bit, but there's some annelids that also uses gills. I can't remember for the moment. All right, that should be an aquatic annelid. So now, and the crustaceans like crayfish at larval stage of what? Amphibian. So that larval stage is called tadpole. I just mentioned that not quite long. All right, so let me show you the tadpole that uses gills. Now you can see here that this is the egg, and this is the metamorphosis of tadpole. So this is of an amphibia. All right, so pay attention to the fact that this is tadpole early stage. Now, so you can see external gills. this external, so it uses gills to breathe. Then until it becomes matured, and start using its skin as well as its lungs. It breathes just like humans will do. All right, you can pause the video here to observe this. Like I said, if probably this is your first time, I always say that each slide from my lecture can also apply, because this same can also apply to other topic. If I were going to take you on metamorphosis, this is a very good video, this is a very good slide that you also see in metamorphosis, just about how organisms grow, insects, and things like this. All right, so feel free to also study these diagrams, even though if it's more than respiratory structures we are covering here. So now when we talk about cutaneous respiration in amphibian, how does it happen? If you can remember, we said that any respiratory surface must be moist, must have blood vessel. This is showing us that I want us to see, you can see this is the skin of the amphibia, which is moist. So the oxygen dissolves there, then is absorbed by diffusion, it gets by diffusion, then the blood vessel will take it around. You can see that. And while the carbon dioxide in blood vessel gets to the surface, then gets out. All right, so this is called cutaneous respiration, which is found in amphibia. All right, now I suppose you should see this one too. This is what I told you, these are the different kind of, this is the skin, this is the lungs. All right, so this is for adults, they can use the two, skin and lungs, please don't forget that. So let's move on to gills. I already mentioned that gills are found in aquatic organisms majorly. You can see this is gill from a captured fish. So let's see what a gill look like. Yes, now this diagram, to arrange you are preparing for exam, because this video is not just for enlightenment. No, it's actually to show you some things you need for your exams. Say for example, it's Nigeria, some examination body will probably just draw this diagram, which is the gill, and put some letter, say A here, put B here, put C here, and expect to label it. Now just tell you now that anytime you see me in my videos, I lay emphasis on something. That means what I lay emphasis on is relevant for some examinations. All right, and that's why I also say you should pause the video intermittently. Now this is the gill. This is just a gill. This place is called filament. You can see that, and this place is called raka. All right, now when the fish, let's imagine that the mouth of the fish is around here. So when water comes in like this, all right, like this, any dirty thing, any substance that comes in that is not water will get stuck here, so that water will only come to this gill filament. What does the gill filament does? This is the site of gaseous exchange. Actually, the gill filament is the actual site of gaseous exchange. All right, so this particular part is called gill arch, G-A-R-C-H. all right. So in case you are asked that what part of the gill does gaseous exchange takes place, it is at the filament. What's the function of the gill raka? To stop debris, dirt from getting to where the gaseous exchange takes place. All right, this is another diagram showing the gill. This is the fish. You can see that this is the gill filament being enlarged. All right, so let's move on to the tracheal system. Now this is found in insects majorly, not arthropods. Some will mistakenly think it's all arthropods. No, it's insects. We have other arthropods that uses gills, the ones that are aquatic. All right, now insect respiration is what? Independent of circulatory system. That is one thing that is funny about them. They don't so much use blood vessels so close to their respiratory surface, so this is like an exception. So this consists of a network of small tubes that carries oxygen to the entire body. This is the most direct and efficient respiratory system in active animals. Why? Because it doesn't need blood for it to happen. So take note of this exception. So let's see what it looks like. So this is yes, this is a tracheal system, which is a collection of tubes, all right, and spiracle. I think the next diagram should be able to show us what spiracle looks like. And these are spiracles which are found beside the organisms. They look like a small being. You can see it here. That is like the nose, so to say. That's where air goes in and air goes out, which is then now connected to the tube. You can see that here. You can see that here. See the air sac. The spiracles are this hole. So this is the tracheal system all together. All right, and that's found in insect. So let's move on to mammal, which is most advanced amongst all. But before that, I will say we should take a look at this. Now that's okay. The human, we are very active. We breathe about 15 times per minute, but that can vary if we are sleeping or if you are running. Apparently, when you are sleeping, the respiration rate reduces. Breathing rate reduces, while when one is agitated, the breathing rate increases. So you see that, okay, that in dogs is more. That's true. Now with every inhalation, air fills the lungs, and with every exhalation, air rushes out of the lungs. Now let me say at this point that, okay, the air we take in contains lungs. So I beg your pardon, contains oxygen majorly. But it will be erroneous to think that when you breathe in, the only air that goes in is oxygen. No, it's majorly oxygen, and when you exhale, what you exhale is majorly carbon dioxide, but it isn't entirely carbon dioxide, because some oxygen will go out when you exhale and some carbon dioxide will come in alongside with the oxygen that is inhaled. What is the aim of us taking oxygen? Because oxygen goes into the cells of the body to break down the food to generate what? Energy. All right, that is major reason. That's what we call what? Respiration. So moving on, we have two ways we breathe. Or before we say that, what are the structures? We'll get to see that in the diagram. I will say that, but let's say that, okay, we breathe through a process called pulmonary ventilation, or sometimes we call it pulmonary respiration. All right, now the air enters through the nasal cavity, through the nose. Air can enter through the mouth, but we don't. That's not the major place. We only use the mouth to breathe when the nose is congested. So it isn't meant to be normal. So the breathing starts from the nose or nostril, then it goes to the respiratory tract, which is coated with what? Mucus, and coated with mucus, and also on this respiratory tract we have cilia that helps to remove some particulate matter inhaled. Now let me say that when you breathe in, two things happen. The air gets humidified and moist. Why does it do that? Because to reduce the damage, when let me say that this mucus contains water. When the air passes over the mucus, water is added to it, gets what? Humidified, and this also helps to what? To remove dirt, some physical small dirt in the air we take in, so it traps it. So the aim of humidifying the air and to moist it is to what? To reduce damage to the lungs. All right, so let's see what we are going to be using human lungs. So this, it wasn't shown here. I don't know whether it's I think it should be shown in other diagram. If I have that here, yes, I will show you that in a minute. This is okay, you breathe in through the nose, it goes to the pharynx. Then pharynx is the common pathway for food and breath, and for air. So now I go to larynx, which is the voice box, then goes to the trachea and all like that. Now pay attention that if you were to ask that what are the respiratory organs or structures, the nose or nasal cavity, the larynx, the trachea, the lungs, and the diaphragm. All right, now you will wonder that there are a lot of things mentioned here. I've mentioned trachea. Trachea trachea is divided into these ones. So when I start talking about the route of air, you get to understand what we're saying. So air comes in through the nasal cavity, goes to the pharynx, to the larynx, then to the trachea. All right. Now in the trachea divides into two, which is your bronchi, plural. One is a bronchus. So the two bronchi divides into bronchioles. The bronchioles divides in different hierarchy. From we have the primary bronchiole to secondary bronchiole to terminal bronchiole, then bronchus. Then the bronchus now divides into bronchioles. Then the bronchiole now divides into terminal bronchiole. Then terminal bronchiole divides into what? I beg your pardon, alveolar duct. Then within alveolar duct we now have what? Alveolus, which is singular. And this alveolus is actually the site of gaseous exchange. Let me see. I think there's a diagram here. Yes, that shows that. Now this is an alveolar duct. Each of these is alveolus, forming what? Alveoli. So inside your alveolus, singular, you have your air sac. So air goes into each of these for gaseous exchange. If you can remember, we said every gaseous exchange must be supplied by what? Blood vessel. You can see blood vessel around it, so that oxygen just goes in, then enters the blood, and once within this place already diffuses into this. So this is your oxygenated blood, this is your deoxygenated blood. All right, don't worry, you still get to see it in a bigger way. So for the sake of diagram, for your exams, you can study this very well. Now I was asked sometimes that why is the left lung smaller than the right lung? Because the heart is found here. This place is called mediastinum. All right, so the heart is found here, more to the left. So this is called cardiac notch. That is where the heart pushes this left lung a little. All right, that's the reason why we have that. So let's go back to our gaseous exchange. So in case you are asked what part of the lungs does gaseous exchange takes place, it is what? At the alveolus. You can see that here. This is oxygen coming in, going to the blood. Carbon dioxide in the blood is going to what? Into the lungs. So this one came in from what? Inhaled air, while this one goes out through exhaled air. All right. So I want to show you the sequence of air movements in case you are asked to write it or asked to read. So here we are. Actually just formed this. I don't know why if it's big enough. So this is the nasal cavity to the pharynx, which is called throat, the larynx, trachea, and trachea branches to the primary bronchi, secondary, then there's supposed to be tertiary. Sorry, I didn't put that. There's supposed to be tertiary. Then we have your bronchioles in the lungs, then terminal bronchiole into alveolar duct, then alveoli. So this is the movement in this right sequence for air in the lungs. All right. Okay, the last thing we'll talk about is exhalation and inhalation. Inhalation means when we breathe in, and exhalation means when we breathe out. Most times you need to just understand the changes or the differences in the two of them. They are not the same. One is active, one is passive. So what I'll just say here is that just look at, you pause the video and see the differences. Now it's essential to know that all of these are essential to add nutrients, in this case oxygen, while this is essential to remove waste, in this case carbon dioxide. All right, so all of this is to bring in air into our body. All of this is to what? To remove air from our body. What air are we removing from this side? Carbon dioxide. What air are we supposed to take in here? Oxygen. So all of these are the differences between inhalation and exhalation. Another word for inhalation is breathe in or inspiration. Another word for exhalation is breathe out or expiration. All right, before we leave this today's class, take a look at this. Let's test. So try to pause the video and see if you can answer this question before I provide the answer. Okay, so let's answer it together. Which of the following statements about the mammalian respiratory system is false? When we breathe in, air travels from the pharynx to the trachea. That's correct. The bronchiole branch into bronchi. No, that is a wrong statement. It is the bronchi that branches into what? Bronchioles. Every other statement here is correct. Alright, so your answer to this question is B. Alright, so let's go on. I think I have 2 or more questions. Alright, which is the order of airflow during inhalation? Yes, when we breathe in, which of them is the right order? So let's try to pause the video and see if you can answer that. Let's do it together now. Okay, the air will go from the nasal cavity to the larynx, to the trachea, to the bronchiole. No, it's going to be B. From nasal cavity to the larynx, to the trachea, to the bronchi, from bronchi to bronchioles, from bronchioles to alveoli. That's correct. The answer to this is B. Alright, and I think I have one more question on that. Air is warmed in the lungs. Air is warmed and humidified in the nasal passage. This helps to do what? To prevent damage to the lungs. Prevent damage to the lungs. Alright. If we say all of the above, well, so ward off infection, that is done by cilia, and that's not mentioned here. That's why we could not pick. But this also correct to some extent. But for air warmed and humidified, that is done to prevent damage to the lungs. Alright. Then the last question. The respiratory system does what? It provides body tissue with oxygen. Yeah, that's the right answer. If we say B, it doesn't provide carbon dioxide for you. It's meant to remove it from it. Alright. So the answer to that is what? A. Alright. And that will be the end of our class today. I hope you've been able to get one thing or the other. Please feel free to get back to me and let me know how you feel. I can get more videos from here. Send your comments. Probably you want me to make a specific video for you or expatiate on any of this. Thank you for your time. God bless you.